All right, video blog 2 of 10, take 3. This is, what is today's date? Today is
May 31st.
Tuesday, May 31st. We are in Paris on we have had 3 full days, or 2 full days if you don't count the one we arrived here. We've been to the Basilique Saint Denis. We went to the Louvre yesterday. Just to kind of update on the weather and the conditions, it has rained nonstop. And when we say rain, it has been like torrential downpour. We have done pretty well managing through that. We got the students acclimated to the metro. We got them to their host families. You know, this was kind of funny. When we got here to Paris, we arrived late. Our plane was late. It took a while to get through customs. And not that they did anything. It was just a long line. It wasn't that they checked a lot of things or anything like that. So we get here late, and the cab driver, who they're only supposed to wait an hour, and he waited an hour and a half, I believe. And he was late to his next pickup where he didn't even get to go. They reassigned him. But because of this, we're driving through Paris. There's 7 of us. 7, or is it 7 or 8?
8 of us.
8 of us in this cab, in this like shuttle cab. And we just dropped these kids off at their host families and then like sped off. Like, here's the code to get in the door. Hope they're there. See you tomorrow.
The code works.
We'll see you.
We're already gone.
We'll see you in a couple of hours. A couple of fun notes on the cab driver. He was from Sri Lanka, but he's lived in Paris pretty much his entire adult life. We asked him if he had a stressful job. He said, no, the job wasn't stressful, but the customers were. He said the customers were rude. And he talked about this experience he had with this customer from Australia.
Americans were not the rudest, y'all.
Yeah.
We were not the top 3.
Right.
Yay.
It was Indians and, who was it? Indians.
Australians he didn't like.
Well, he didn't like Australians. He said he wouldn't take any Indians for sure. Whatsoever.
Like, wouldn't even respond to the call.
And he was Indian. The other thing was, he told us this story about this Australian recently who he believed had 2 wives, or a girlfriend and a wife or something, and who was very rude to him because he was a little late picking him up, and then it just started.
There was a horrible accident out in the airport, and the road was shut down for 30 minutes or
Right, he was late because of this accident. Anyway, the guy, he ends up kicking the guy out of the cab. With his bags like on the side of the road, and he said if he said anything else, I'll break your face. So needless to say,
I think it was that moment Tony got more money out of his wallet for the end of the ride tip.
Yeah, don't want him breaking the face. I mean, he said things like crazy things. He had a metal iron in the door, like, where
he showed us his weapon.
His weapon to smash windows if need be. So kind of interesting on those points. So we drop the kids off. We go and get in the hotel. The hotel is all right. It's not too small.
It's really. City small.
It's city small, but it's not like ridiculously small. Bed's pretty comfortable. I will give it that.
Yes.
What else? Okay, so Basilique Saint Denis was, I think, our first major.
It was on Sunday.
Oh no, we went to a flea market
on Saturday.
When we say a flea market, we mean a tourist junk stop, which was all like
a lot of Africans and Jamaicans coming in selling stuff.
Arabs, yeah, like North Africans, exactly. Kind of knockoff stuff, real kind of pushy. Nike. They're kind of pushy too. It was huge. It was kind of in the poorer part of town. I feel like we saw a marketplace, right?
That had amazing fruits and vegetables.
What about
and herbs.
What about the green beans.
Oh my God, they were like on steroids.
So the green beans were like Brenda said they were like this long, like
at least 10 inches and at least 2 to 3 centimeters in diameter.
That's crazy.
At least.
We saw brains,
shark,
a shark, and so we walked a lot. We got to Basilique Saint Denis, really cool, huge place. It's a place where they keep it's been a place historically where they have enshrined kings and queens, and we went down into the crypt, and you could see, I mean, there were remains there from, I want to say the oldest thing there was 1,000 years old. But they had even a statue to Clovis, Clovis was a French king, I believe, in the 6th century, 5th century, 5th or 6th century, first heart. Christian king. Yeah, there was Louis the 17th, son of Louis the 16th, who was killed during the French Revolution. During the chaos of the French Revolution, the Loyalists tried to reinstall him as a king, I believe. He ends up dying, and one of the things that they do when they are enshrining these people, or I guess preserving the bodies, they take out the insides so that the bodies don't decay as fast. Well, the guy that was doing this stole the heart of Louis the 17th, and then it was eventually recovered. Anyway, the actual heart, DNA tested and all, is in
1975.
Yeah, in 1975. They've linked it to Marie Antoinette. The actual heart is in this vase that is in this kind of tomb display thing. Pretty cool. See, what else did we do that day? We went
we walked around and saw the monument of Louis who was that, or was it Napoleon?
So we went to the Place Vendôme, the Place Vendôme, and this was a big square built by Napoleon, 1805. Big monument there to him, as well as this is where Chopin died at. Then we went to dinner that night, and we had a pretty darn good orange duck and kind of like an au gratin, almost like a scallop type potato. Very, very good. Good wine. More rain. Came back. We've been tired. We've been massively tired. So yesterday we walked for 14 hours. We did the Louvre, and the Louvre was so damn busy that it made it unenjoyable, to be honest. Kind of first reactions to the Louvre. First reactions to the Louvre are the portraits are immensely big. I mean, we're talking wall-sized portraits. We went and looked at the Egyptian relics. We did Italian and Spanish paintings. Miranda fought to get to the Mona Lisa.
And that literally fought.
And when we say fought, literally fought. And what did we do after the Louvre? After the Louvre, we pretty much called it a night. We've been trying to go and buy Miranda a raincoat. One of the things that we realized is that we are poor in comparison to Parisian standards, because, like, I mean, if you want to buy like a jacket here, you're going to spend like 100 euros at the minimum.
Unless you go to the flea market.
Unless you go to the flea market. Maybe that's where we need to go back for that jacket. And it'll be like, and it'll say something like, "Welcome to Paris," and have like a bong attached to it. we saw a bong or a hookah thing that had like an AK-47 built as the stand. It was really weird.
With camels on the bottom.
With camels on the bottom. So like it's like your terrorist hookah bong. But let's see, we went around and we tried to go into, really interesting too, security guards at every store. Um, and
walking the streets with machine guns.
oh yeah, and the police officers they have the army. I think it's the army.
The military's here, yeah.
Yeah, the military is here walking around with like big machine guns, presents. Two reasons we mentioned in the last video: the bombings back in November, but also there have been some labor strikes around here that have turned violent, and I think that's been it. Other than that, we've just been spending a lot of money and doing a lot of walking. And today we're going to find Miranda a raincoat, hopefully. I don't know what we're going to do today because, again, it's raining and it's like 5 more days of rain. So we hope we see the sun in Paris. And I hope to see you again in video 3.